In 1997, Men Can Stop Rape is focused on helping men use their strength to create a violence-free culture. More importantly, men's violence against women. Instead of helping women decrease their risk of becoming victims, they set their goals on assisting men using their strength in more positive ways. With us now to talk more on Men Who Can Stop Rape in their most club is the coordinator of training and technical assistance, Joe Samalin, and we welcome him now to the show. Good to have you, Joe.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
And so, a very unique organization, Men Can Stop Rape. Talk a little bit about this here.
Sure, and really appreciate BronxNet and Open and y'all taking the time to address the issue, which is such an important one. Men Can Stop Rape is a nonprofit organization that helps communities across the country better engage men and boys in what we talk about as the primary prevention of these different types of gender-based violence. So domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, rape, stalking, street harassment of women and girls, and more. We do that through a variety of programs, but our oldest running program and one of our most successful is definitely our Men of Strength clubs. And they've been around for about 11 years now. We run about 100 clubs nationally, and here in New York we've got about 6 clubs up and running. We're in every public high school and middle school in Washington, D.C. as well.
So when you talk about men of strength, obviously you look to the men because many times, of course, they are the proponents in situations of rape, but are you trying to catch them at an early age, or are you trying to deal with particularly adults?
It's a great question. When we say primary prevention, we usually mean 2 things. One is absolutely trying to work with men, women, boys, girls as early as possible. But the other piece of that for us too is helping communities show men and boys how they can address and challenge some of the root causes of these types of violence as they occur in our communities. So what are some of the attitudes, the language, the behavior that allow for really epidemic levels of these types of violence, mostly against women and girls, to happen in the first place? One of the keys to our success has really been helping communities to see men and young men not as potential perpetrators, but as potential allies and visible allies to women and girls in a community. We know that the majority of men in any given community make the conscious choice to never commit overt acts of violence. But the thinking, unfortunately, usually goes along the lines of, well, I would never do that. I would never try and abuse or control or be violent with my partner, male or female. I would never try and use alcohol or drugs or something else to get over on someone to get sex from them, etc. The problem is that for most guys, our thinking stops there. So I'm one of the good guys. Right. I don't do it, not my problem. But we know that for a lot of guys and for our work, that's our starting point. We say, that's great that you choose never to do that, but what are the things that we all do as men, and the attitudes and the beliefs and the language, et cetera, that support these types of violence?
You spoke earlier about root causes. Talk to us a little bit about these root causes, because there are some root causes that really lead to this.
Sure. So for us, the root causes are really around helping men at the root of a lot of these types of violence, and at the core of our work strategically. When we work in a community through a Men of Strength club with middle school, high school age, college age young men, or some of our training and technical assistance programs for the military, law enforcement, nonprofit organizations, wherever, at the core of our work is really the question of masculinity. So we come into a community and the first thing we're doing is asking the question of, well, what does it mean to be a man here? What does it mean to be a man in the United States, to be a man in New York, to be a man in the city, to be a man in the Bronx versus Brooklyn, white or black, gay or straight? What are the messages that we get, that we all get, about what it means to be a man? And those are the conversations that we first start to have. A lot of times when you come and you approach men and young men in any context, you start talking about rape or domestic violence or statistics, you get a lot of defensiveness for a lot of understandable reasons. Right. We talk about masculinity because for us, we know that the messages that we get about what it means to be a man are a large part of an individual man's decision to commit violence or not, are part of a man's decision to get involved and help address and challenge and stop violence when they see it happening or not. So our question about masculinity helps men both as potential perpetrators as well as potential allies, as well as potential victims of these types of violence, who then can't come forward because of what it means to be a man.
Right, and we're seeing a little bit on the website right now of men that can stop rape, and I want to ask the question, because when you talk about this, it's a very sensitive issue here. Many times rape is considered an abuse, first of all. Sure. Many times those people who perpetrate the abuse have been abused themselves. Is there anything that deals with men who have been abused, considering the day and the times that we live in right now?
It's a big question, an important question, and probably take a lot more time than we have. But I will say that, yeah, we know the overwhelming amount of men and women who make the choice to commit domestic violence, dating violence, relationship abuse. They themselves, we know with men, 85% of men who commit domestic violence witnessed or experienced it growing up or grew up in a home with severe domestic violence. And the same is true with whether we're talking stalking and some other types of crimes as well. Again, the way that Men Can Stop Rape addresses the issue through looking at masculinity as the lens helps, one, men become better allies to women and girls, but it also helps us as men take care of ourselves and each other better. So it gives space maybe for a man to come forward and say, hey, this happened to me, whatever this might be, right? And to be able to admit that, get help and support with that. And so, for example, the Men of Strength clubs that we offer, it's a weekly session, right, facilitated by an adult male. And that's a space for men really to support each other, to struggle with these issues, to talk about these issues, and to talk about stuff that we as men, more often than not, really never get a chance to talk about.
Right.
And then to tie that back into, well, what can we do as a group of men of strength in a community to be visible allies and do programming through what we call our community strength projects, right, to help the community understand more of these issues as well.
So Washington, D.C. is a big place for you, New York City also. Talk about where people can come and be a part of it and how we can get some more men involved.
Absolutely, appreciate that. You can definitely look at our website, www.mencanstoprape. You can find out, get in touch with us, see if there's a local Men of Strength club or if you're interested in starting a Men of Strength club. We offer our training and technical assistance, program design, curriculum design, workshops, presentations, etc., to communities across the country, and you can just check out our website. We can give you more information about how we can work with your community.
We're seeing some pictures right now. Tell us about some of the things that we're seeing right here.
We got a picture with our incredible guys up at Truman High School, which is one of our oldest running Men of Strength clubs in the Bronx. On the right, you've got Neil Irvin, our executive director, who founded the Men of Strength Club program over 10 years ago, along with, of course, probably needs no introduction, the Bronx Borough President's Office has done every year does an incredible amount of work around domestic violence, especially in October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And for the last 2 years, he's been involved in working with us and partnering with Men Can Stop Rape to get men in the Bronx and young men in the Bronx more involved. We've got 2 Men of Strength clubs in the Bronx. We've got 6 in New York City overall. We do a lot of programming every year. If anybody wants to get involved or interested, please just get in touch with the website, get in touch with us, and we're happy to let you know what we have going on.
You see some young kids in there, and they really seem to be involved, engaged, and having a good time.
Our young guys, we got them, our high school guys, our Men of Strength, some of them, the more veteran members that have been involved from middle school to high school. We like to say you never graduate from Men of Strength Club. You never graduate from most, because we've got guys we've been working with for over 10 years now that are involved in this work no matter what they're doing. And some of our guys are speaking at the UN in D.C. They've got their own TV show, those community strength projects you're seeing in the communities, those messages of how men can play a more active role in helping to end these types of violence.
So here in the Bronx, where can people find out?
You can get in touch with me. We can put the information up, but it's Samalin at mencanstoprape.org. You can give me a call at 212-709-4429. But if you get in touch with us through the website, they'll put you in touch with us. And, you know, we've got Men of Strength clubs right now at Truman High School in the Bronx. At Mott Hall 5 is our latest Men of Strength club. They're doing great things there. And we have a lot of other programming we do, again, with the Borough President's Office and some of the other nonprofits that do work around these issues, helping support survivors and victims as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on all the time you can get involved in.
Thank you, and we would appreciate you coming through and sharing a little bit about it. And of course, we'll continue to update the people as we find out more information.
Great. Thank you very much.
Joe, thank you so much.